what I can remember is an interest in the outside world. And the frustration with the fact that I couldn't escape this island, this bird cage called the Outer Pole. Frustration. I think it is what it was. I thought everything was just so unfair. But I didn't know how to express that feeling. Everyone around me had something, an objective, that would drive them to continue their day-to-day lives. But for me, I was completely empty. Is that Rune's thoughts? The first time I experienced something akin to emotion was when, as a child, I saw a bird twitching on the side of the road. Perhaps it was attacked by another animal. Deep red blood seeped out of its neck as it convulsed. And eventually the bird started moving altogether. Some kind of feeling from deep within my chest desperately attempted to emerge. The onlookers voiced their pity for the bird. I said it was funny. Everyone stared at me with the strangest looks. After seeing death before my eyes, I wanted to see it again. I wanted to feel that feeling again. In hindsight, perhaps that really was pity. I wasn't even able to distinguish such a simple emotion. After observing the people around me, I was able to mimic their own behaviour. When I was a child, I was confined to the house. There were a few people who were always around. There were my mother and my brother. My mother had a weak constitution, but whenever she spoke, she was very energetic. Although her body was weak, her spirit was strong. She was a very warm person. I didn't know how to respond to that warmth of hers. There was nothing stranger and more alien to me than her unconditional love. I couldn't even begin to comprehend it. My brother, even though he spoke gently, always had a scowl on his face. And it was well deserved, because I was always constantly causing him nothing but grief. Despite all that, he worked hard every single day as for his enterprise. Even though no one expected anything of him, he continued to diligently toil away in the shadow of his little sister. He was constantly anxious, being compared to his father by everyone around him. Always afraid of having to exceed his father, hit foul hits. He was a multi-talented one-in-a-million prodigy. The barrier he had to scale reached all the way to the heavens. It was impossible. Rune himself knew this, and still chose to try and surmount it. He constantly aimed for the summit, not even knowing if he could ever make it to the top. I remember upon seeing my brother of mine, within me rose a powerful desire to destroy it all. In hindsight, I probably looked up to him for his persistence and grit to take on even the toughest challenges all by himself. All I could ever do was to mimic others. I was frantically trying to reconstruct a present. On the other hand, my brother was fervent and single-mindedly forging a path forward, and I was just so jealous of that. Looking back on all this, there really is just a hair's breadth on the difference between all kinds of emotions. I actually was driven by all these strange alien things called emotions after all. But I am the one who killed my mother. I am the one who ruined my father. I am the one who caused my brother to suffer. Dad. Why did you bring me back to this world? Did you bring me back here just so I could wallow in despair? Is this my atonement? If it had been slightly different, and I wouldn't have caused all these people to experience such pain and suffering. I've done so many things I could never take back. I committed so many wrongs that even my death could not hope to absolve. I truly was a being that should never have been. But then, what am I? Is the man I consider my father truly Sid 5 hits? Was the person who I always stared emptily at truly my brother Rune? Are my memories Rune's memories? Rune is someone who should never have been born. But then, that means I should never have been born. Am I Sarah? If I am, then that means I'm only borrowing these memories from Rune. And if that is the case, then just what exactly is Sarah? Nothing makes sense anymore, but there is one thing I know. I don't want to cause Rune any more problems, any more trouble. If he truly finds my existence contemptuous, then I would gladly die? Be destroyed? What? So what am I really? If only I could see Miss Selphine and Miss Ritona once more. I wanted to tell them goodbye. Sarah. Yes. Your dismantlement will be turned by a collective vote tomorrow. Return to Lab 9 and stand by there for the remainder of today. Head straight to Lab 9. I've already informed For Health and the others. Follow their orders. Understood. Master Rune, thank you for everything. I believe I ordered you to switch off your emotions. I couldn't. I tried so many times, but it seems I don't have the access rights to do so. If you couldn't do so, then why did you still follow with my order? How could you abide with my illogical, preposterous orders without a single word of complaint? Because that is what you desired of me. Why? Why are you smiling? Because I'm happy. What? I've always been taking things away from you, but now I can finally give you something that you've always wanted. Something I've always wanted. The possibility of me becoming Rune will cease to exist. I thought about running away so many times. I thought about my death, my destruction. But I've disobeyed your orders. Then you would end up shouldering the responsibilities for my actions. Finally, time has come that I am no longer needed. If you have emotions, do you not feel fear? Aren't you afraid? I am afraid, so very much so. So afraid that I want to run away this very minute. But what I fear, even more, is that my existence would only serve to cause you even more pain. What? I know that you're a really nice, kind person. You're always watching out for your little sister. I'm sure back then she didn't realise how dearly you thought of her. But now I'm sure she can understand. Just how much of Rune's memories have been restored inside you. I do not know. As time passes, fragments of the memories are slowly coming back to me. But as for whether those are truly my memories, there are no way for me to tell. What? Just what in the world are you? I don't know anymore. Not a single thing. But for the one thing I do know, Rudo, I'm just a girl that admires you as my brother. But I don't even know what that means. Damn it. Rudo will never be alone, I promise you that. Damn it. Dad, you son of a bitch. Rune. Will you call me Rune? Is it okay? Is it okay if I could call you brother again? Do whatever you want. You mean it? Brother, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. Rudo. There's a formula I've never once calculated right before my eyes. I don't think my processing could ever keep up with it. I think this is the source of the noise that has always been deep inside my heart. The emotions behind my destructive tendencies from before. My feelings for you as my brother. Why didn't I notice it sooner? This equation is so vast I could just break down. Yet it's so yet it's so simple. What do people call this feeling? At first, I wished that I'd never given birth to Rune. I wished I never left my hometown, moved to Cardia and worked at Vihits. I wish that I never met you, that I should have stayed and took over the family business. I wish that I never have anything to do with the name Vihits. That's a life like that. That a life like that would have been much nicer, much better. But, you know, that's impossible. I'm so glad to have you, and Rudo, and Rune. I love you all so madly from the bottom of my heart. So just thinking about it is depressing. A life without that girl. I couldn't possibly imagine that. Even if I wouldn't end up like this. Eileen. We've had our ups and downs, but I'm so glad to met you. That I met you. I'm so glad I gave birth to Rudo, and even though the world may never forgive us for it, I'm so glad I gave birth to Rune. And that's a nice image there. I'm so glad to have lived. Eileen, I love you, Sid. It was a fun life. Eileen, everything's in your hands now.